It appears Unrivaled has gotten its answer, and Caitlyn Clark is out.
Unrivaled just announced their rosters for this upcoming season while simultaneously pulling off the biggest troll in sports history.
Fans are shocked that Caitlyn Clark rejected a $2 million deal from an unmatched league.
This was the November 20th deadline that, if you guys remember a few weeks ago, Nafisa Collier said that by November 20th, all the players would be announced and we would get the official lineups for each team.
The league's existence now hangs in the balance as ESPN verified this surprising announcement, leaving basketball fans wondering what went wrong with Unrivaled promoting her involvement for months. Could this decision mean disaster for their debut season? This is enormous.
Now, Unrivaled did the funniest thing last night that got a lot of us hooked in.
When the news is confirmed, fans are utterly shocked. Caitlyn Clark considered this $2 million for 10 weeks of play not only life-changing money, but it's historic in women's basketball. Yet the golden girl of women's basketball has turned down what many are calling the opportunity of a lifetime. Why, she said, is this really happening?
Just last night, Unrivaled put out this letter where they said, "Dear management, what might seem like an average Wednesday in November is in fact a momentous occasion. Okay. A momentous occasion for those who follow women's professional basketball. Please excuse blank from 11 a.m. to 11:22 a.m. Eastern time so that they can watch Unrivaled's basketball club selection presented by State Farm."
Unrivaled was billed as the future of women's basketball, a fast-paced, 3-on-1 league that promised excitement, innovation, and a roster full of stars. Let's face it, Caitlyn Clark was supposed to be the focal point from the start. The league centered its marketing campaign around her, making cryptic promotional videos that seemed to shout, "Clark is coming," and subtly hinting at her jersey number 22 to tease fans. However, when the roster was announced, her name was missing, and ESPN dropped the bombshell instead. Unrivaled will not be joining Caitlyn Clark.
It goes on to say 11 a.m. once again, and at the very end reminds you once again 11 a.m. to 11:22 a.m. Eastern time. Now, the whole thing about this Unrivaled League is when they are announcing new players, they have always done like a teaser video before they announce the players. They've always been about doing little mysteries or Easter eggs or trying to get people to like guess who was gonna join Unrivaled.
There are many things to consider. So let's start by breaking down the money. According to reports, Unrivaled offered Clark $2 million for just 10 weeks of play, which is equivalent to $200,000 per week. To put that into perspective, the average WNBA player earns about $120,000 annually, and Clark was also reportedly offered equity in the league. Yes, she would be a part owner in addition to being a player, so why would she turn down such a lucrative offer? Timing is one theory. Clark already has a full schedule with speaking engagements, endorsement deals, and other obligations. It could have been excessive to have a 10-week league, and let's not forget the NBA All-Star Weekend, where Clark is reported to be making an appearance, coincides with the holiday season. Perhaps she just didn't have the time, but scheduling isn't the only problem. According to some sources, Clark's choice raises more serious issues with the league as a whole. Unmatched is new and proven, and let's be honest, a bit of a gamble, even though the league has big plans. For a player like Clark, who has already established her legacy in traditional basketball, it's still getting started, and the dangers may have outweighed the benefits. A letdown. Although owning a portion of the league seems alluring, there are risks associated with the equity offer. After a season or two, Clark might have concluded that the promise of equity wasn't sufficient to outweigh the possible drawbacks. What if the league doesn't take off? Naturally, fans are devastated. Anger is roiling on social media. Many people are disappointed and, let's face it, very angry since they believe Unrivaled misled them with their marketing. After months of building anticipation, the league's decision to leave 2 wildcard spots open on the roster announcement only served to fan the flames. Fans believed those spots were set aside for Clark and another key player, possibly A.A. Wilson, but when they were left empty, it felt like a bait and switch, and now they have nothing to show for it. One fan wrote, while another tweeted, "It's clear to say that the league has some severe damage control to do, But let's not lose sight of the greater picture. This isn't just about one person or one league. Caitlyn Clark was their ace, and they played their hand too early. Now they have nothing. The whole women's sports sector should take note of Caitlyn Clark's choice to decline Unrivaled, as it underscores the difficulties in establishing a new league despite having star power and audacious concepts. Although women's sports have advanced significantly, much more work remains. Critics contend that by heavily relying on the assumption that Clark would join, Unrivaled overhyped its debut season without securing the required star power, setting themselves up for failure. The league now faces an uphill battle to regain trust and demonstrate that they can succeed without her at the right time. The repercussions of Clark's choice could not be more dire for Unrivaled, given the league is already dealing with difficulties ahead of their January debut season. Clark, one of the most marketable athletes in women's sports, has the luxury of selecting her opportunities by turning down Unrivaled, so she's preserving her energy and brand for future ventures. However, for her fans, the decision feels like a missed opportunity. Their 3-on-3 format is exciting, but it hasn't been tested at the professional level without a player like Clark to draw viewers and sponsors. Her absence creates an obvious hole, and the league itself is unmatched. Many were thrilled to see her embark on a new challenge. Instead of creating enthusiasm, the promotional strategy's reliance on cryptic marketing and teases has backfired, leaving fans disillusioned and skeptics. While some players, like AJ Wilson and Lexi Hall, have been confirmed to lack Clark's star power, the league will need to find new ways to attract viewers and sponsors or risk losing momentum before their season even begins. Critics are wondering if the league has the resources and vision to succeed without Clark, but this story isn't over yet. The league's inaugural season was meant to be a watershed for women's basketball and an opportunity to present the sport's best players on a new platform, but without Clark, their vision is in jeopardy. Will they fulfill their commitments, or will she reject them? Signal the start of this huge project's demise. Although the $2 million offer was revolutionary, it's important to remember that male athletes in comparable circumstances frequently make far more. The fact that even a player as gifted and marketable as CL was hesitant to join underscores the continued difficulties women's sports face in receiving equal recognition and the wider picture. Support as the dust settles, it's evident that this story is far from over. Clark's choice has spurred a broader discussion about women's basketball's future and the function of leagues like Unrivaled. Will the league bounce back and demonstrate its sustainability, or will this serve as a warning about the difficulties of creating a new sports platform from the ground up? Let's examine Caitlyn Clark's decision in greater detail, not only for Unrivaled but also for women's sports and basketball in general. To begin, we must recognize the scope of what Unrivaled was attempting to achieve, which went beyond simply starting a league to include redefining our perception of women's basketball, and to be honest, they weren't mistaken to aim high. The Unrivaled format is fast-paced, high-energy, and entirely different from traditional basketball. It is intended to draw in viewers who might not typically watch sports. Think of it as basketball meets street ball, where skill and speed are more important than size or strength. On paper, this is a great idea, but in reality, it's uncharted territory, so they needed someone like Caitlyn Clark to legitimize it. Without Clark, the league would have an identity crisis. Sure, players like AEL Wilson and Lexi Hull are talented and respected, but they don't have the same star power or global appeal. Clark. Without the consequences, the league would have lost a lot of momentum. In addition, the $2 million offer wasn't just a paycheck. It was an investment because it gave Clark such a large sum of money. She is more than just a player. She is a brand, and her presence alone could have drawn sponsors, fans, and media attention. One of the main complaints of Unrivaled's plan is their reliance on cryptic marketing. Unrivaled was counting on her ability to attract viewers and produce revenue, but now that the investment is gone, the league will have to find other ways to draw attention, which won't be easy. Fans don't like being misled, and this could harm the league's reputation in the long run. However, let's not forget Clark's side of the story. Declining $2 million isn't something you do lightly for her. This was about more than money. It was about protecting her brand. Fans were led to believe that Clark was already on board thanks to subtle clues like the 22-minute promotional video that referenced her jersey number when her name wasn't on the roster. Her legacy and future are a danger when she enters a new and proven league, and it might not have been worth it for someone as well-known as Clark. Although the $2 million offer was revolutionary, it's crucial to remember that male players frequently earn significantly more for comparable commitments, so Clark's decision also raises significant questions about the condition of women's sports. This emphasizes the continuous compensation. Let's change the subject and discuss what this means for Unrivaled going forward. The gap in sports is something that leagues like Unrivaled must overcome if they hope to draw elite talent. The league's inaugural season is still scheduled to start in January, but they will need to put in a lot of effort to regain the support of supporters. One way they may do this is by concentrating on the players they do have rather than obsessing over the ones they don't. Wilson, for instance, is a fantastic athlete with a big fan base. They could yet be able to save their season if Unrivaled can market her well. Another possible remedy is to highlight the distinctive features of the 3-on-3 format. This type of basketball is unmatched in the professional world, and that alone could be a big draw. By emphasizing the game's fast-paced, dynamic nature, viewers seeking something new and exciting can be drawn in, but let's not mince words. This is a difficult task. The league has already lost a lot of credibility, and they will need to demonstrate that they can fulfill their commitments. If Unrivaled can play competitive, high-quality basketball, they might be able to regain some of the goodwill they've lost. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark's career is still booming, and by turning down Unrivaled, she's sending a message. Fans want to see action, not just hype. She is here to create a legacy, not just to play basketball. With endorsement partnerships like State Farm and several speaking engagements, Clark is already among the most recognizable athletes in women's athletics. Her choice to concentrate on these chances rather to sign with Unmatched indicates that she is long-term minded. But here's the point. This isn't just about Clark. It's also about the ripple effects her choice will have on the industry. Her choice was meant to be a game changer for women's basketball and an opportunity to present the best athletes on a new platform. Clark's rejection serves as a reminder of how challenging it is to create anything original, even with audacious concepts and well-known figures. Critics contend that unparalleled inability to ensure, although the $2 million offer was significant, Clark draws attention to the difficulties facing women's sports generally, noting that it is only a small portion of what male players make in comparable circumstances. Let's not write off Unrivaled just yet. With the right approach, the league could turn this setback into an opportunity. For instance, they could concentrate on developing captivating storylines around their players. Fans love drama, rivalries, and personal connections, which Unrivaled has the opportunity to deliver. They could also capitalize on the reality TV-style content they've hinted at in their marketing, behind-the-scenes footage, player interviews, and official videos. If we want to see more leagues like Unrivaled succeed, we need to address the systemic issues preventing women's sports. Court experiences might personalize the league and make it more relevant to spectators. In the current media landscape, social media platforms like TikTok are equally as powerful as the game itself when it comes to narrative. YouTube and Instagram are ideal for displaying the quick-paced action of 3-on-3 basketball. Can develop a devoted fan base without a celebrity like Caitlyn Clark by producing shareable content and interacting with fans online. The league has a lot to prove, but they also have a lot of potential. If they can continue to provide excellent basketball, compelling narratives, and a close bond with their supporters, they may still be able to make a name for themselves in the women's sports industry. As for Caitlyn Clark, her future appears bright as ever because she is focusing on her current opportunities and solidifying her status as one of the most influential players in women's basketball. Whether or not she eventually joins a league like Unrivaled, one thing is certain: she is playing by her own rules and isn't afraid to take risks. What do you think? She made the right decision by declining Unrivaled, or was this a missed opportunity for the league and herself? What does this mean for the future of women's basketball? Please share your ideas in the comments section below. If you liked this analysis, please remember to hit the notification bell, like this video, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the most recent news from the sports world. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.